G'day everyone, it's SDS SuperCoach, providing SuperCoach content for you. I'm here to present my round 15 review. I decided to give a new intro to go because of I did get a comment and it's fair enough. Like and subscribing would be grouse drove his head in, so I'm just like, yeah, fair enough. It's a bit of a long intro as well, so I was looking to change it. So hopefully that sounded all right. It's a lot quicker, a lot punchier. So we'll see how that goes. And yeah, back from Melbourne. Had work for the first time this morning after my holiday. So I was bloody tired last night. So I do apologise I didn't do the round 15 review last night. But yeah, I was just really stuffed. I was really tired, and yeah, it was. I just couldn't function. So yeah, so you're getting it this Arvo after work. So here I am. So anyway, let's get into it. Been rambling on long enough. So we scored 2,415, which was a pretty average, 55, down 55 spots in the season ranks. So that was literally par for where I am, roughly. So basically par. So yeah, it wasn't the greatest week. I think that's the first time we've gone down in ranks in quite a while. Like I don't recall the last time we dropped in rank. So probably a good sign. We were probably due for a bit of a below par-ish week, but yeah, hopefully we can just rebound and recover. There's a couple of good moves I'm looking to make this week to finalise my side fully. So we'll get into it. So so there's my side there. Sorry, I'll actually shorten. I didn't mention, but in my last video, I forgot to extend my face cam, so I do apologise for that. So yeah. James Sisley. Oh, also, before I start as well, I really appreciate everyone subscribing. We've now hit 151 subscribers, so hit the 150 milestone, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but it is to me. So I really appreciate everyone for subscribing and all that, and I really do appreciate you guys. And I will continue to make content for the rest of the SuperCoach season. So yeah, thanks again, guys. James Sisley with an 87. Yeah, I think that was his worst game of the season. He just seemed a bit off Sisley. I mean, everyone knows that he can get a little bit edgy with certain situations that happen in the game. But I just thought this game, his kicking was average. You know, he got into his own head a bit. The dogs got into his head. And yeah, just Sisley just didn't seem like his usual self. So maybe just a 1 week sort of thing. We'll see how he goes for the rest of the year, but he's still a fantastic player. Dawson, I personally reckon he's almost been my best trade in this year. I'm just trying to remember when I brought him in. I've got a feeling it was round 9 against the Lions. I could be very wrong. I can't be bothered to check my trade history, but I'm pretty sure it was round 9. And he's just been fantastic. It could have been against Carlton. Nah, it was after his 134, I'm pretty sure. So he's just been a fantastic trade-in for me. Hasn't dropped a ton since I've owned him. And yeah, been absolutely unreal. One of the main premiums down back for me. So fantastic trade-in for me this season. He's certainly been a reason that I've turned my season around. Jack Sinclair got tagged. Also, I should mention I didn't watch a heap of footy this weekend, so I won't lie, I did listen to a couple of other round reviews and just listen to see what they quickly said about each player. So apparently he was tagged. Yeah, so I didn't watch much footy on the weekend. I was too busy getting plastered, I won't lie. So yeah, Hawks Dogs were one of the main games that I watched this week. Sinclair got tagged though, so Saints have been a bit average the past few weeks, so hopefully that doesn't affect Sinclair too much in the coming weeks if they continue this way. George Hill, 104. I'm pretty sure he's dropped off over the past few weeks, but I still think he's going to finish as a top 6 averaging defender roughly. We didn't expect him to be how good he's been this season, so he's been one of the great pickups for the off season last season, and in SuperCoach this year, starting at 399k. Jack Crisp with an 80. He'll rarely drop in a poor score, so I think I'll happily let him pass this week. He was, yeah, just he usually gets around that 95 to 105 average score. So we'll even be this week. He's been a very solid player for us this season. Jaden Short, I'm not really liking this role at all. So one of my potential plans could be to trade Short and bring in Stewart once he's come back from his suspension. So that's something I'm considering. Or do I make the move this week to bring in Aaron Hall? I'm probably not. I've got other moves I'm going to do. So, but yeah, maybe that's something I could consider if I get a good run for the next few weeks. And when Stewart comes back, I could look to trade Short because two of the next Richmond's next 3 games, they have got West Coast, Gold Coast, and North. So that's a very good run for Short. If he can't score well in those games, then bloody hell, I don't know what else to tell you. Jacob Ware, 67. He's terrific cover off the bench. He's been a very good rookie for us. And look, I'll talk about my trades at the end of the video, but it is a bit sad. It looks like he's going to be let go. He's going to leave the side, as crazy as it sounds. But he's been a very good rookie for me and for everyone else. Wade Dirksen, we don't need to talk about him. He's just a loop. Clayton Oliver, 140. Just very, very good once again. It was a toss-up between Oliver and Neil for the VC, and obviously I get it wrong, just like I have every single time. It feels like with the captain and vice-captain looped. So that's a bit disappointing. Laird with 156, as expected, would have killed. He killed North Melbourne. I didn't see much of it. But one thing I will say is I actually was really considering putting the C on Laird, but then I fell into the trap of Oliver and Neil. I feel like one of them should go well. And so instead I went Neil into McRae when I was thinking of doing McRae into Laird. I almost would have taken that captain score, and another reason why I didn't go Laird is because there were rumours that he was struggling a bit in training this week. So I was just like, what if he gets injured or whatever? So, I would have nailed it if I picked him, but I didn't. Lockie Neal, 111. Got a bit of work from James Harms. So that's all right. Jack McRae, 123. He was looking good in the first half, but as always, for some reason, he just drops off in the fourth quarter. But McRae certainly took a decent advantage of Hawthorn's very average midfield. Tuke Miller, 101. I did see the second half of this game. Willem Drew was tagging him a bit or gave him really close attention. So 101 for Miller, just not a reliable captain option. And probably been a little bit disappointing as a starting pick this year, I won't lie. Andrew Brayshaw, 87. I think he's been very good ever since I picked him up, so I'll let him be. I'm trying to remember when I picked him up. It was whenever I brought in Darcy, I remember. I'm trying to think of when I brought in Darcy. Yeah, he scored a 59. So I brought him in with Darcy, so round 12. So he's given me 113, 135, and 87. So I've had him for a few weeks, Andrew Brayshaw. So, and he's been really solid for me. So, look, I'd rather have Andy Brayshaw than Merritt or Petrarca at the minute. Let's just say that. Paddy Cripps with a 95. Yeah, just as of late, he hasn't been fantastic, has he? So, last few rounds of 83, 78, 114, 126, 79, and 95. So, he hasn't been awful. Like, he wouldn't be a disaster finishing M8 to your side. Look, he's so highly owned, so decent chance he actually is that for most sides. Maybe there's a world I could trade him out for Mills. So it'd be a big decision, in my opinion, because I'm going to finish off my M8 spot this week. But then it comes down to the big decision of where am I going to gain the most points from moving forward? Is it going to be Cripps to Mills? This will probably be in a few weeks if I don't get any injuries, where I'll consider doing this luxury upgrade, or Short to Stewart. So I think Short for the rest of the year. I think if he stays in this role, I think he averages probably 95 for the rest of the year, which is not great. I think Cripps for the rest of the year will probably average 105. That'd be my bet. So 95, 105. If I had to think of what Stewart will average for the rest of the year, I think it can still be 115 because he can have those really grouse scores like he did this week, kill me once again. But in my opinion, good riddance because he's been a terrible antipod not to have once again this season. Last year I didn't have him either. So I think Stewart can still average 115. So if I had to roughly average, that'd be about 20 points I'm losing out each week. But if I kept short and missed out on Stewart. And if I brought in Mills, I still think he'll average about 120 for the rest of the year. So that means I'd lose out on 15 points each week with Cripps. I think the difference would be, though, is Mills isn't highly owned. Cripps is highly owned. If I could gain 15 points from most people's midfield, an extra 15 points, compared to short to Stewart, where Stewart is decently owned, but he may not be anymore. Actually, now that I think of it, a lot of people will be getting rid of Stewart. Yeah, so it'll be a decision that I'll have to make in about 3 weeks' time on what I want to do. I think either are good ideas because both are highly owned, and I think some teams won't have the luxury of the trades. I think I've been pretty lucky actually with the carnage this season. I've avoided the Gawn situation, the Bailey Smith situation, the Tom Stewart suspension. So I've been a bit lucky in terms of carnage. So I've got a couple of trades up my sleeve to where I shouldn't have too many issues for the rest of the season, to where I can afford to do a luxury upgrade at some point in the season. So anyway, back to the rest of the team. So Ben Hobbs, 36, his first bad score in a while. So I appreciate Hobbs for making me about 160k. So he's done his job magnificently. So I really do appreciate that from Ben Hobbs. But it is his time, along with Ware, to go this week for the trades I'm going to do. Morris Rioli, 65, decent chance he holds the spot over Judson Clark. Judson Clark looks a bit, Richmond lost. He might be in the firing line a bit, Judson Clark. So I'll be a bit nervous if you're relying on him as cover. Morris Rioli, though, I think he should keep his spot, kick the clutch goal against the Cats. And yeah, he was terrific. So well done to him. Well done to the young man. We won't talk about any of these injured blokes. I'll just talk about English. Jared Witts, 148, fantastic. Took advantage of the Port Adelaide situation with no ruckman. So, he was just terrific. Maybe another sneaky captain option with who have the Suns got? They've got another. Yeah. Oh wait, no, not Collingwood. I think I was thinking of the following week. Or no, I wasn't thinking about the right ruck. I was thinking about Darcy, where they play Port this week again, where Witts did really well. So he was just terrific. Got a lot of hit outs to advantage. Looked a bit sore, but got through the game. I saw the last quarter roughly. Sean Darcy, 117, very good score from him. Just needs to stay on the park. He could have scored a lot higher going up against Tom DeConning, but it seems like he did a pretty good job this week for the Blues. I didn't see a second of that game of Carlton Freo. Bont 136. I've brought him in this week, and doesn't it just feel good when you bring in a premium where he just goes bang? And this is just a fantastic score for Bont. If I kept Butters and didn't make the move for Bont, then I would have been in big strife in terms of rank this week, because he's saved my bacon here. Fantastic Bob Bontempelli, and should be probably decent chance he's F1 for the rest of the year. Stephen Cornelio, 109. Ever since Spike came in, he's been playing full-time, and it's just been fantastic. I'm pretty sure I feel like he had a better game than 109, but he didn't. So, he was just terrific again. Will Brodie, 129. Again, can't comment much on how good he was, since I didn't see the Carlton Freo game at all. But he must have just been brilliant. Continue to play in the midfield. Well done to Brodie. Josh Dunkley, 110, a very Josh Dunkley score. I feel like we don't talk much about him because everyone has him, and we just know how reliable he is most weeks. So Dunkley, yeah, just terrific once again. Luke Parker with a 75, his first pretty average score since I've owned him. And it's a shame, but yeah, I think we'll leave him be. Just disappointing score. I'm sure he'll bounce back. Sydney have got a pretty good fixture for the rest of the year as well. Payne McCartan, 51. Ever since I've decided to make him as my defensive and forward, and probably I could get away with it ruck cover, because I'll have English and Teakle to deal with. Say I don't know what I'm talking about, but anyway, my defensive forward cover. Ever since I've told him, you know what, you're the man coming off the bench. So whenever we get an English situation for a week, then you're the guy to come in. He just scores a 51. And last week he scored like a 44, I think. So I think it's ever since he's come off that bye. Yeah, ever since the bye, he's dropped off a bit. So hopefully McCartan can bounce back, because there's a decent chance I'll have to use him again as cover this week, because English might miss the second week in a row. He's got a bit of an average concussion history, thanks to Braden Proust, you absolute peanut. So, yeah, McCartan, decent chance he has to play again this week. I just can't wait till I can play a full premium side. And yeah, so what are my trade plans this week? So, good question. Well, I'm making 2 trades, and then I'll probably leave it for the rest of the year, except for injuries, and maybe a luxury upgrade at some point for this year. But we'll just see how the injury situation is with our premiums for the next 3 to 4 weeks until Stewart comes back. We don't know how long he's going to get. I'm hoping it's only 3 weeks, because that's when Jaden Short's good run ends. So if I wanted to go that way, trading Short to Stewart, then that would be ideal. So what are my trades this week? Well, Ben Hobbs, he's done his role, but it's time for him to go. And Jacob Ware, just to make this trade worth it, and to also have a little bit of money in the bank for my future trades. So this week, to finalise my side, so we'll get this one out of the way. We'll go with D'Ambrosio. So they'll leave me with roughly about 122k left in the bank to bring in Jack Steele, who I just think is really good value for what he's capable of as a player. So I think he's a grouse price. And yeah, I'm very happy to finish out my side with Jack Steele. Wanted to see how he went this week before trading Hobbs. So yeah, just fantastic. And it's good to have him back in. I think he should do well for the rest of the year, because Saints, they're fighting hard for a top 8 spot now. So they need their star man in the middle, their only star man in the middle, Jack Steele, to just absolutely carry them to a potential final spot. So I think Steele will go bonkers for the rest of the year. So it's good to have him in. I think it's great value for what he's capable of. And D'Ambrosio, not as good cover as Ware, but it nets me about 130, 140-ish K to make the move. So, and it leaves me with 122k in salary for any future moves or injuries to my premiums. So at least I'll have the opportunity to upgrade or downgrade whatever premium I want that gets injured. So yeah, and look, that's probably how the team will look to go this week. Look, I'll just put English for now, just in case he does play, because that does look like I really like this team. As I've already mentioned a few times, but the only 2 players I feel like I'm really missing out, in my opinion, is Doherty / Stewart instead of Short, and Mills for Cripps. And other than that, I think my forward line's absolutely spot on. That's exactly the 6 players that I would pick for the rest of the season. Same with the rucks at this point as well. I know Gorn's still an option, but I think at the minute I still love these 2. The midfield I'm very happy with, and I think out of all the lines, I would say my back line's probably the weakest because of Crisp and Short instead of Doherty and Stewart. I think I'm in for a pretty strong run home. Hopefully they're not famous last words. Vice captain and captain. I think vice captain, I was trying to remember what I actually had. I think it was Neil again into, oh no, sorry, no, it was Oliver into Darcy, because Oliver, his last two scores against the Crows have been back-to-back 200s, the double ton twice in a row. That's mental. So we're obviously going to have to see what Oliver does. And I'm putting the C on Darcy because I like to take advantage of this Port Adelaide fixture where if he is the sole ruck against Finlayson or whatever whatever Port are doing, then that would be terrific. And I'm thinking of a really big score from Darcy if that is the case, because we know he's capable of an absolute belting score, but hopefully we won't need it because Oliver, vice-captain against the Crows, you'd like to think that he'll put in a good shift there. Hopefully they don't tag him. So, yeah, I don't recall the last time I've taken a VC score. It's been a long time because bloody hell, it feels like ages since I've taken a VC score. So it's always having to rely on the captain. So, yeah, look, the emergencies, yeah, we'll keep Dan Ambrosio there, Rioli, McCartan, yep, that's fine. So, yeah, so final thing I'll have a look at is how I went in SDS SuperCoach League. I beat Jordan by 13 points. That is huge. Yeah, good win there because he was third, so good win there. I've jumped up to 6th, so that's good. Brad looks like he's primed to finish in top spot. Two game lead with how many games are left? Probably a month worth of games left in this league. So, well, in all leagues. So, until finals. So, we're looking good here. I'd like to think we'd make top 8, but we've got some really good competition. Probably up until 13th. I think from 13th up can make finals. Probably going to be a bit hard for the bottom 5 here because of, there's only 4 games left. They're going to have a lot of teams go pretty average, and they would need a lot of fixtures to go right. So I think from 13th to 6th, I think can make finals. I think the top 5 are safe. So, yeah. And who have I got next week? We'll go to round 16, see how we go. Once it loads. It's still loading. So we have got Marsfield Demons. Okay, that seems like a good matchup. Does seem like a very interesting matchup. So that would be good. He's got Luke Jackson. That's a good trade in. Darcy Karen G. That could be deadly. Roses. We'll see if he updates that. Same with Durden. But yeah, he's got a bit of a different side, but I don't mind it. I like some of the players in there. He's got Petrarch on the bench. Why did he do that? I don't know why he didn't do that. I wonder why he did that. Anyway, is there anything else on there to check on? Not really. I've told you guys my trade plans this week. I'm very confident those are the trades I'm going to be doing. Captain and vice-captain, that could change still, but I'm pretty confident VC will be Oliver. It's just debating whether I want to put... Is there any other good matchups here? I've got no Geelong players against North. I wouldn't want to put it on Wits. I wouldn't want to put the captain on Wits because Cameron's turning out to be a half-decent ruck. Short, no way. Unless I wanted to do like Cornelio, but oh, gee, nah, I don't think I could do that. Could you do Brayshaw or Brody? I still don't have that trust in them yet. So, yeah, look, I'll leave it there, guys. I think this video's been long enough. So I hope you guys had a good week in SuperCoach, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.